Good morning. Today, in this physiology lecture, we will deal with the physiology of infancy. If you are looking at the terms, sometimes there is a difference of opinions about the definitions. However, if we start with the newborn, that is just born baby, who is that newborn? So it could be a prematurely born or full-term born or post-mature born, whenever there is a birth. That, from that time onwards, up to about 1 month from the birth, is taken as the age of a newborn or a neonate. Neonate also means newborn. Now, however, in the medical context, the period is taken as the first 28 days after birth. Now, when we come to infancy, the Latin word infans refers to somebody who is unable to speak or speechless. So, the age in which the baby or the individual is not able to speak or still has to learn how to speak is the infant, or the stage is called infancy. So usually, typically this is taken as the first year of the birth, but it can be up to 2 years. Okay. So the one who is in infancy is called infant, or referred to as a baby as well. So in this infancy, the first month is the newborn state. Now, though here we said first year of birth typically is the infancy, but we also added up to 2 years. Why? Because at the end of the 2 years, generally the child is toddling. He is walking, but in a slightly different way, as would do the toddler. Then he is also started speaking, follows certain specific aspects and the rules and regulations of speech. So this is the early childhood up to this. So infancy ends by the completion of 2 years when the walking or toddling is established and speech is also has made a good start. And infancy is followed by childhood, and then that is up to the adolescence, that is our roughly teenage ages. Adolescence will ultimately become an adult. Now, infancy is often defined as the first year of life after birth or up to 2 years, when he becomes a toddler. So for the first month of after birth, an infant is called a newborn or neonate, which we have already mentioned. Then by 6 to 12 weeks, he may be started smiling. The infant may be smiling, and he makes certain vocal sounds. By 6 months, he is saying something which we don't understand, but probably he understands what he is speaking. Now he also can sit and start crawling by 6 months. By 12 months, the very first words may start, but not speech in itself totally. And by this time, the infant is able to start walking with help. That means if the parent, let us say, the father or the mother, are holding him by both the shoulders, let us say, then it may be possible for this baby to walk. Or when there is some amount of support, then the baby is able to walk by about 12 months. then this essentially, this period, infancy, is the period of time that begins with the organism's emergence into the world as a separate being. So that means he is born to begin with. Then the end of infancy is when with the organisms achieving a measure of independence by the way of walking or toddling, rather. Toddling or speech as well. Some amount of expressing the ideas is possible. Small amount of conversation can be made by this child, by this infant. So up till this time, he is the infant. So by the end of 2 years, the infant is called toddler because he can walk or run in a typical way of the toddler. Then he can speak and express ideas in a way that speech is being established. By literal meaning, when we say infant, he cannot speak. So when he's speaking, he already has gone beyond infancy. However, there are this word infant or infancy is used for a much prolonged age as well in certain aspects. The British infant schools are meant for the children of age between 4 to 7 years. That means these people are also supposed to be infants, according to this now. Okay, legal age, legal usage is something totally different, until 18 years. So here, the person below the age of 18 years is called juvenile, not exactly infant, but juvenile. Because in a juvenile, the nervous system is supposed to be not completely mature. So, in the medico-legal cases, this may have a bearing. This age of 18 years has a bearing, because the juvenile law is different from the law that is meant for the adults. So, juvenile escapes with much less punishment. Rather, an improvement in the behavior is emphasized in the case of punishing the juvenile. Newborn, how he looks, etc. Either on the first day of birth or up till a few days. Shoulders and hips are wide, abdomen protrudes, this very clearly is visible. Arms and legs are relatively long with respect to their body. Then length 14 to 20 inches is the length of this newborn baby in industrialized nations. However, the premature babies may be smaller than this length. The body weight is typically 3.4 kgs, again in the industrialized nations. Even in India, the weight of the baby is approximately around 3 kilograms. So the range is 2.7 to 4.6 kilograms is the body weight for the newborn or just born. Over a week's time, the body weight of the baby slightly decreases because fluid is lost. And then there could be a delay in the breastfeeding. So in both cases, the water supply seems to be somewhat less, but loss is becoming more and more. So naturally, the body weight becomes less for the first week period. Then the body weight keeps increasing once he is breastfeeding regularly and sufficiently. Then the gain may be about 10 to 20 grams per day. 10 to 20 grams per day. That's quite weight. Head is large in proportion to the body. Cranium is enormous compared to the face. Now, this is face. This part is face. The whole thing is cranium, particularly the bony cage is the cranium. And that the cranium seems to be quite big. In the cranium, there are certain soft spots called fontanelles, anterior fontanelle and triangular or posterior fontanelle. Anterior fontanelle is diamond shaped and at the top and front portion of the cranium, right at the top, where the frontal bones and the parietal bones meet. So there is a junction of the four bones making a diamond shaped gap with soft structures and not bone. So it is quite possible if you carefully observe the little baby, you can see that soft layers at the top, that is the antefontanal region, are oscillating or pulsating. And pulsations are according to the heartbeat. That's because that is the time when the heart is pumping the blood, and as the blood comes into the cranium or the brain, there is a pulsation you can observe. Then triangular for a posterior fontanelle is at the back of the head. This is the middle diamond shape, and at the back is the posterior fontanelle. And that is at the junction of the frontal bones and the occipital bone. So occipital bone is a single bone and parietal are two bones. So you have a triangular space at that junction. And these slowly diffuse and the bone is formed. Hair in the newborn. Hair could be variable. In Caucasians, there may not be any hair. It could be almost like bald. But in Indians, you can see there could be a full head of hair of various amounts. So that's one thing. Color may vary from black to red to blonde. Generally here in Asia, the hair color is black. You may find red to blonde color among the Caucasians. So hair color and texture may change. Here, initially the hair is very thin. Texture is also smooth. Gradually it becomes more strong and color also may be thicker. Then in some parts of the body hair is what you call downy hair, downy. And actually in birds, they call downy feathers also. These are very soft feathers if it is in the case of the birds. But in our case, the hair is also very fine, small in length, smooth, etc. And this type of hair is called lanugo. This is present on the back, shoulders, forehead, ears, and face. But anyway, this downy hair, lanugo, disappears within a few weeks of time. At the time of birth, the skin may be grayish or dusky blue immediately after birth. And then as the breathing starts, then the skin's normal tone is reached. Apart from this color, the skin is coated by a substance, a white substance known as vermix caseosa. This may act as an antibacterial. So this product provides protection against the bacteria to the baby. Then there could be birthmarks or spots, and here and there skin may be peeling off, particularly on the limbs. Genitals are enlarged and reddened. Male have unusually large scrotum. Then breasts may also be enlarged both in male and female. And this is because of the maternal hormones. There may be small discharge of milk from nipples if the nipples are squeezed. Then from the female, from the vagina, there may be secretion which is bloody or milky in look. then this will disappear with time. Umbilical cord is cut leaving about 1 to 2 inches of a stub. And this will gradually dry up and spontaneously fall off. And you have the belly button after the healing of the umbilical cord. And that you can see all the time throughout the life. The newborn is bluish white in color. In hospitals, triple dye is, the umbilical cord is originally bluish white in color. But in the hospitals, they may apply a triple dye, which is to protect against infection. Then the color of the stub may become purple. Even the color near the umbilical cord also may become purple. Then changes in newborn at birth. There are several changes that may occur at the time or soon after the birth. Changes occur in the newborn at birth so as to adapt to life outside the womb. The surroundings in which the baby is present within the uterus is different, outside the womb is different. Now, main thing is respiration. So changes occur in respiration, that essentially refers to the lungs and blood circulation. This refers to the cardiovascular system. So that the gases exchange now shifts from placenta to the newborn's lung. Earlier, the lung of the newborn is not functioning. There is no air entering, nor blood coming, more or less, no blood is coming into the newborn's lungs. But the whole of the gases exchange is occurring at the level of placenta. So now this placental connection is over. Now the baby has to breathe from using the lung. So you will find there are certain changes in the respiratory system, particularly lungs, that occur from before the birth to after birth, enable the gases exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. So before birth, the lungs are fluid filled, but then after birth, or around the time of the birth and afterwards, the fluid is draining or absorbed. So fluid disappears. High resistance to blood flow in the lungs is the normal before birth because of the fluid, and there is no entry of air into it, and no entry of blood also into it. So a lot of high resistance to blood flow. Increase after birth, the increase in oxygen in lungs cause resistance is decreased. So the lungs can open up, or blood can come into the lungs more freely if the resistance decreases to the blood flow. Then no pulmonary blood supply because of the high resistance to blood flow before birth. And now the resistance is decreasing and pulmonary circulation is being established. So the lungs are now getting filled with the pulmonary blood, gases exchange is occurring. And naturally, the lungs are not inflated. And after birth, respiratory movements and chest cavity volume changes. They reflect the inspiration and expiration. And the first breath in the newborn is a very, very important biological being because this is the beginning of life. So unless he breathes his first, he will not be breathing a second breath. So first breath is a very important. How is it initiated is very important. So now you see about the first breath in the newborn. In utero, lungs are not used to breathe, being completely full of the liquid secreted by the pulmonary epithelium, which this we have already talked about. Then the first breath can occur only after transition from liquid to air-filled lungs, obviously. So as long as the liquid is present, then taking a breath is difficult. Now, see, the liquid has to go. Just before the birth and during birth, uterine contractions during labor and the vaginal squeeze at the delivery make the fetus change the position. So as the fetus is being squeezed by in the vagina and pushed by the uterine contractions, there is a change in the shape of the fetus. Therefore, by compressing, it is highly compliant thorax. So it is compressed, and because it is possible, that is possible because it's a compliant nature of the thoracic cavity, thoracic cage. These mechanical forces represent an aid to clearance of liquid from the lungs. So this is virtually just like when you hold a water bottle and squeeze, and the water is pushed out of the bottle through the nozzle, for example. So it's more or less the fluid is made to go out, either by, and then secreted, or it is absorbed. Then, apart from that, what is happening because of these contractions, etc., transpulmonary pressure gradient is increasing. Inside the lung, the pressure is increased. So that drives the fluid outside the lungs mechanically. And release of fetal adrenaline causes the activation of the sodium channels on the apical surface of the pulmonary epithelium. Then this activation of sodium channels on the epithelial cells cause stoppage of any secretion of lung fluid and increase in the reabsorption of the same. So that means the fluid is decreased. So the most obvious effects of birth on the baby: loss of the placental connections, placental connection with the mother, and so loss of oxygen support. So there is no oxygen being supplied right away unless the lungs are functioning. So one of the most important immediate adjustment that is required by the infant is it should breathe. As we said, if there is no first breath, there is no second breath at all, there is no life at all further. So child ordinarily begins to breathe within a few seconds, and then normal respiratory rhythm will be established within less than a minute after breath, quite quickly, normally. As soon as the lung is cleared of the fluid, then the respiratory movements are produced. How? To produce the respiratory movements and the breathing to be stimulated, you need a stimulus. So asphyxiation, or if there is no breathing, then it is like asphyxiation. So hypercapnia, carbon dioxide content increase in the newborn, and this will act as a stimulation of the respiratory centers of the neonate. You may try to raise the role of the oxygen or hypoxia, but hypoxia is not going to do this. As in the adult, hypoxia also causes actually an inhibition, if at all it does something to the respiratory centers. So here the stimulus is hypercapnia, and the respiratory centers are stimulated in the neonate. And apart from that, asphyxiation and hypercapnia, you find plenty of sensory impulses that originate from the skin. Now the infant has come into the outside the womb, so it is cold out, much cooler outside. So the skin is cool. So this sensation from the skin. Then from a water bed, the fetus has come into a kind of a hard bed now. So the skin, cutaneous sensory impulses, they also have a role. Sensory inputs by pressure over the body while it passes through the mother's birth canal, which we have described earlier. This pressure also causes stimulation. Apart from once the baby comes out, then the light and sound stimuli which may be present within that room or the vicinity also provide sufficient number of sensory inputs. So all these sensory inputs and the hypercapnia they cause promotion or reinforcement of the first breath. So action of respiratory surfactant is also useful. Now, if you remember, this surfactant is necessary for the alveoli to be open, to keep open continuously as well, and to prevent the collapse of the alveoli. So here, the alveoli do not have air. It's more or less like it is closed. So they have to be open. So the surfactant, as the fluid goes out, the surfactant is being released, will cause the reduction in the surface tension, and alveoli can easily open in the neonate. So with this added reinforcement and these sensory impulses and hypercapnia, they bring about the respiratory movements very effectively so that the first breath can be taken. However, here, fetal circulation and changes that occur after birth, these were covered in an earlier lecture when we are taking the cardiovascular system. So please refer to it for the fetal circulation and the changes in the circulation that occur after the birth. Now we come to the body temperature changes. Developing babies' BMR is very high and produce about twice as much heat as an adult. Small amount is removed by the skin, amniotic fluid, and uterine wall. But then after birth, so this happens when it is inside the uterus. And after the birth, baby begins to lose heat because it is exposed to the outside. So cutaneous receptors convey to the brain that the skin is cold. So something must be done about the body temperature. So the newborn has an arrangement called the existence of brown fat, which you see in the fetus and the newborn. And this brown fat's metabolism provides the heat. So the body temperature is maintained. And again, one more thing is a newborn hardly ever seen to shiver. So the shivering mechanism is absent and not necessary because brown fat will take care. So newborn changes the newborn continued, and we see liver. Liver still requires some more development. The liver has various functions, act as mainly a storage site for sugar or glycogen and iron, produces substances that help the blood to clot. So the synthesis of the clotting proteins in the blood are started producing, begins breaking down of waste products such as red blood cell damage there and their breakdown products. So finally, helps break down of the bilirubin. If this is not done properly and effectively, then there could be jaundice in the newborn. And this situation is quite common because before the 3 months of age, the fetal RBCs are damaged, fetal hemoglobin is to be broken down, and etc. And if that is the bilirubin is not handled, the breakdown of the waste products from the fetal red blood cells are not managed properly, then it can cause jaundice in the newborn. Then coming to the gastrointestinal tract. Baby's GAT does not fully function till birth. In late pregnancy, baby produces a tar-like green-black waste is produced during the pregnancy. So this material is called meconium. Now, after the birth, the first stool may be only meconium, which looks like a very dark green black material. And it may be composed of amniotic fluid, mucus, bile, lanugo, this is the down hair, and the cells shed down from the skin as well as intestinal. Sometimes meconium is passed while inside uterus. So there could be a coloring of the fetus sometimes, coloring of the skin because of the meconium. Urinary system. By 9th to 12th week of pregnancy, kidneys begin to produce urine, but the efficiencies are to a large extent okay, but still more development is necessary at the time of birth. Newborn passes urine by 24 hours. Yes, that can be done. They are already acting, no doubt. Kidneys become able to maintain the body's fluid and electrolyte balance to a large extent. GFR, glomerular filtration rate, increases sharply after birth and in first 2 weeks of life. So this is the essential feature. The glomerular filtration is the first step in the urine formation. So that improves and becomes more and more in the first 2 weeks of life. Still, kidneys have less ability to remove excess salt and also to concentrate or dilute the urine. Remember, we have one or two special lectures on the mechanism of concentrating and diluting the urine in the adult. So this is also a great complex phenomenon that's happening within the kidney. So this also takes a little more time before it becomes well in functioning. This ability increases with the time. Now, coming to the immune system. Innate immunity develops in the baby, but acquired immunity is initiated only after the birth. So, and this acquired immunity depends upon the exposure to the infecting organisms like bacteria, the foreign bodies. So initially, mother provides immunoglobulins for providing passive immunity to the fetus or the newborn. Womb or the uterus, inside of the uterus is sterile relatively. So infection is not generally expected. So acquired immunity happens, it gets initiated usually after birth only. Exposure to bacteria and other potential disease-causing organisms occur after birth. Though infants are vulnerable, their immune system can provide protection against infection. Now, innate immunity is there, and then the mother's supply of passive immunity is also there. Now, some antibodies are acquired from the mother. Breastfeeding helps the newborn's immunity. One more thing is colostrum. The milk in the first few days, that is more solid, more concentrated milk, and it is very rich in immunoglobulins. Now we come to changes during infancy about the motor development. Newborn to 2 months after birth, he can lift and turn their head when lying on their back. So usually, usual procedure to handle a little baby about this age is to lay down the baby on the bed on its back. So in that position, he may start lift and also turn their head when lying on their back. And hands are fisted, arms are flexed. You will see always the baby is, newborn baby particularly, their fists are closed. Even if you want to open, it looks very, very difficult to open the fingers of the fist in the newborn child. Then arms are flexed. So it's something like this. So then neck is unable to support the head when infant is pulled to a sitting position. Occasionally, when somebody is trying to make the infant baby sit, then the head cannot be supported by the infant's neck muscles. So in the sitting position, the head will fall loosely. So it is necessary that the head is supported under. Under the head, you have to provide a support if you are taking the baby into the arms. Then primitive reflexes. Some reflexes are so primitive, they are existing. Babinski's reflex. This is different from Babinski's sign. Okay. Now, stroking of sole of the foot causes big toe to move upwards and other toes to fan out. So this is Babinski's reflex. Startle reflex. Suddenly there is some disturbance, maybe because sudden sound or sudden light flash, etc. A startling response can occur. So you see, the baby may respond like this. Then Moro reflex. Sudden loss of support. There are three components: spreading out arms, pulling the arms in and crying. Now that means when it's almost like startle, then not this much, but so she's spreading out the arms, but then he's bringing back and start crying. So these three components are there in the Moro's reflex. It's a continuation of the startle reflex. Now this can disappear by 3 to 4 months. Now this disappearance happens because now as the baby is growing little by little, it feels more secure about the surroundings. And a lot of things are happening in the surroundings. So baby gets used to that and feels more secure now. So Moro reflexes, they disappear by 3 to 4 months. Then palmar hand grasp, closest hand grips object. Palmar hand grasp. This is the palm. Palmar hand grasp is this. Okay. If there is any object, it will try to hold. Sometimes like this. Sometimes like this. Ulna and the palm, both acting. Now, placing reaction. This placing reaction occurs with the foot. Touching of sole of foot, infant extends the leg. So, if you touch the sole of the foot, the leg is also extended. Plantar grasp, plantar side of the foot. Infant flexes the toes and forefoot as if trying to grasp to get foothold. Suppose if the sole of foot is touching a surface, you try, then the baby may act as if he is trying to grasp the surface. It's just like getting a foothold. So that is the plantar grasp. This is the grasp by the hand. So by the foot, the plantar surface of the foot, the foot will bend down like this as if it's trying to hold the surface. So that to get a foothold. Then rooting and sucking or suckling. When cheek is touched, generally the head is turned in searching for the nipple of the mother, or maybe even for the milk bottle. And when nipple touches lips, infant begins to suck or suckle. And as long as the milk comes, the suckling usually goes on until his hunger is relieved. Then stepping and walking. It's possible taking brisk steps and both feet are placed on a surface. But that means somebody must be holding the baby and trying to place the baby on his feet. So now you can see after the plantar grasping, then next thing is to take brisk steps. There is no control. So there will be several steps, brisk steps that may happen. And whether he can actually hold the surface or not is a different matter. So then, for this, body has to be supported by somebody. Then tonic neck response. When infant gazes to the left, looks to the left arm extends. So left arm extends, gazing to the left. Then legs flex inwards. Right arm also flexes inwards. Left arm is extended, and then right arm is flexed. And vice versa also it happens. So 3 to 4 months of age, then the baby has better eye muscle control and allows the infant to track objects. That means if the objects are moving, then he tracks the object, how it is moving. So there is a coordination control of the eye muscle so that the tracking objects is possible. It begins to control hand and feet actions. So there is some amount of control now by the 3rd to 4th month. But one thing, they are not fine-tuned. Still, they are crude. The movements are crude. Infant may begin to use both hands, working together to accomplish tasks. So to hold not just one hand, but both hands may be used to hold. So that the task can be accomplished. Infant is still unable to coordinate the grasp, but swipes at objects to bring them closer. But anyway, even this grab may not be working. So he may simply swipe the objects to bring them closer. If you observe the little baby, you will definitely appreciate this kind of a movement. Then infant, when he is placed lying face down or is on his tummy, then the infant raises up the torso, upper torso, shoulders, and the head. So he is trying to raise the head and the shoulders with arms when lying. So he is supporting by the hands and trying to lift the shoulders and the head upwards. Neck muscles are developed enough to allow the infant to sit with support and keep head up. Now, here also still he may need some support to the head, but he can still have that head being kept up, but some amount of support is still needed. Primitive reflexes usually will disappear by this time. Then by 2 months of age, all normal infants show a social smile. 2-3 months of age, a social smile starts. So if the baby is looking at somebody, he may start giving a smile. This is generally a social smile. So he is also inviting the adult to interact with them. So naturally, this is a favorable approach by the baby towards an adult. Then by 5 to 6 months, able to sit alone without support for only moments at first, and then for up to 30 seconds or more. So as the age increases, he can sit on his own for a prolonged period. Then it can grasp blocks or cubes using the ulnar palmar grasp technique. Ulnar palmar grasp technique with a bend at the wrist. Then still thumb usage is not much. Infant rolls from back to stomach. So if he laid on the back, then he can roll back so that he lies on the tummy. Then when tummy, the infant can push up with arms to raise shoulders and head, as we said earlier, and then look around or reach for objects. Look around, he can turn his head, look around, trying to reach for the objects. By 6 months of age, respond socially to particular people to whom they have become emotionally attached. So the known people with whom there is a bonding, yes, the bonding is enable them to respond socially. 6 to 9 months. By 9 months, they sit without support for 10 minutes or more. Infant is able to sit steadily without support for long periods of time Crawling may start around 6 to 9 months, and infant can walk while holding an adult's hand. So if the parent is holding the baby's infant hand, then he can walk. And infant learns to sit down from a standing position. Earlier, it was not that easy for him to sit down if he is left in the standing position. Now he can sit down on his own. Infant may pull up into a standing position while holding on to furniture. So he doesn't need an adult as it is to come into the standing position. He can do that using holding the furniture and also hold the furniture and keep standing. 9 to 12 months. About 6 months of age, at about 6 months of age of infants respond socially to particular people to whom they have become emotionally attached. Infant begins to balance while standing alone. Infant takes steps holding a hand, may take few steps alone. He can even take few steps by the time 9th month to 12th month comes. By 9 to 12 months, begins coordinating his actions to attain external goal. Earlier, there is no clear external goals to reach. Now, the intentions are clear, show greater intentionality. So he knows what he wants and trying to reach that goal. Begins to invent new actions in a form of physical trial and error experimentation. So by little, these actions are improving and becoming widely spread. Sensory development. Touch, taste, smell, mature at birth. More or less. So touch, particularly pain. Touch, let's talk about the pain. Pain sensitivity is present at the birth because pain sensation is a very important sensation. It is a protective phenomenon. So it must be available right at the time of birth. So react to cutaneous irritation by the end of the first week, the infant, the baby can react. Then localize the site of stimulation by the end of the first year. But he cannot exactly localize until he reaches about 1 year. Deliberately withdraw stimulated extremity. So one thing, if there is a pain, he can withdraw that limb. So withdrawal reflex, you can say. Face is most sensitive for the pain. So when you hold the baby, don't try to manipulate the face. Many people have the habit of squeezing the cheeks of the baby. Don't do that. Face is very sensitive to pain in the small baby. Response to pain, crying, change in general activity, whatever it is doing, it will stop that and maybe shift to some other activity. Widening of eyes and looking at it about the pain, turning of face, limb, or body away from the site of pain stimulus, and then he may visually search for the irritated spot. So where the stimulus is given, that spot is trying to search. Response to tactile stimulation, touch stimulation, especially about 95% of mouth and face response to tactile stimulation. So it's very responsive. Turns head towards a touch near mouth, rooting and searching reflex. We'll see what is this. Prominent when hungry, providing a nipple within the mouth, will start suckling. So here rooting is if there is a touch towards the face, he is trying to locate the nipple. Now once the nipple is available, searched for, and the suckling starts. So providing a nipple within the mouth also causes suckling. So response to temperature. So what is it? To warm and cold stimulus, that's the temperature. In the mouth, to lowering or elevating ambient temperature cause the response. Or on the skin, or close to the skin, also any change in the temperature will produce a response. Locally circumscribed stimulation may give a response of turning the stimulated part towards or away from the stimulus. The temperature is not exactly the pain, but it is this kind of sensation is quite close to pain sensibility. So turning a stimulated path towards or away from the stimulus, this can happen. Taste sensitivity. Newborn can clearly distinguish sweet from the salty and bitter and sour substances, and it can prefer sweet taste. Olfactory sensitivity. Newborn can respond to smell of acetic acid, asafoetida, phenylethylaldehyde, aniseed oil. Now, threshold of sensitivity decreases in the first 4 days. That means sensitivity to the smell sensation increases. So thresholds come decreased. Hearing begins before birth. That means elders usually say you can talk to the fetus when it is still in the uterus. So hearing begins before birth and is mature at birth. Okay. Maturation is by the time of the birth. Infant prefers the human voice, and there are sounds. Human voice is the one which is preferred. During 2nd month, the response to loud and sharp sounds by startling. Baby's ability to accurately locate sound is refined during their first year. So localization takes a long time in various sensibilities. Almost first year to locate, able to accurately locate. That means localization of sound also will take quite some time. That is up to first year. Surprising sensitivity to the tones, rhythmic flow, and sounds that together make up human speech. The infant is sensitive to that. That's why he can identify the mother's voice by 3rd month. So he knows when the mother is talking, he responds more quickly, definitely. In 4th month, turn the head towards a sound made at his right or left side. So he also can make out whether the sound is coming from the right side or the left side. Inner ear senses are vestibular senses. Infant responds to rocking and changing of the position. So the vestibular sensation is nearly mature. Vision is a very important part in developing the behavior, because this provides a lot of information that is needed by the infant. In the newborn infant, pupils react to light. Fine. Newborn infant can see within a range of 8 to 12 inches, about 20 to 30 centimeters, 1 foot. This is 1 foot. Color vision develops between 4 to 6 months. It takes a little longer time. But 2 months can fixate, track the movement of objects up to 180 degrees. 180 degrees. This is 360 degrees. So by 2 months, you can fixate and track the object for about 180 degrees. Vision. Initially, it is myopic. You can only see nearby objects. Even a large letter, a large figure, only can be seen clearly by the 20 feet or the 6 meters distance. So this is the distance at which the object is placed. This is the distance at which we should actually be able to see that object. So in the equity chart, Snellen's chart, the letters at the top are big, so that from a long distance you can read actually. Okay, so that number is this. So as the age is increasing, even at the fifth month, it is better. Myopia decreased tremendously. And that means nearby objects, only nearby objects can be visible. Here, that is better. And the normalcy, or what we usually write as 6 by 6, if you are using meters, 6 by 6, the same as 20 by 20 feet. So at the 50-year average. So you will see usually the babies are the infants or toddlers also. They like to look at the TV from a close distance. They don't like to sit at a long distance. So if you ask them to sit in the chair at a distance of several feet, several meters, Then he would not like, because he won't be able to see the screen properly. So he would like to come close to the TV and see that. So then this infant is sensitive to certain visual patterns, movements, preferences for the human face. Then he can discriminate faces by first or second month. By third month, he can identify the mother very well. He knows this particular woman, particular lady is very much known to the baby. The baby knows that she is my mother. So he can differentiate the mother from everybody else. So he has a preference for her, and then he may not like to come to the others. Up to the earlier age, less than 3 months, the baby may go to anybody more easily. But after 3rd month, he may not like to go to others. Then illumination intensity can be discriminated. Then increased vision allows the infant to tell objects apart from the contrast. Contrast can be also is good. Infant looks longer at complex patterns. He prefers a solid sphere compared to a flat circle. A pattern to a lack of pattern is preferred. Shortly, you can discriminate the shape of the objects. Color, it comes after 3-4 months of age. Excuse me, I just have a little water. Now, older children, they prefer reach for the colored objects than the gray objects. Red and yellow are more often than green and blue. Language development starts from crying, and by the 3rd day of life, mothers can tell their own baby's cry from the others. Then the parents can also identify or discriminate their baby's cry about hunger or pain or anger. And crying also causes letdown of milk in the nursing mother, so that she's ready to breastfeed the baby. Crying in the first 3 months, about 1 to 3 hours per day. And if it is more than 3 hours, then it may be considered as colic. And then most of the time, colic stops by the 4th month of age. And then excessive crying needs medical evaluation. 0 to 2 months, he is alert to the voices, and he can use range of noises to signal needs, what he needs to soothe his hunger or pain. 2 to 4 months, he can make some noises like 4 to 6 months, he can utter the vowels like oh, like that. 6 to 9 months, he starts the babbling or laughing. 9 to 12 months, and he can understand and say small sounds like mama and dada, ta, etc. He can also respond to no. Then he also understands minimal grammar and syntax by the end of infancy. Emotional states, usually about 3 to 4 months, surprise, distress, relaxation, and excitement. 3 basic emotional states. Later, anxiety, fear, and sadness also develop by 1 year of age. consciousness, quite alert, active crying, drowsy but waking, fussing, active sleep, and quiet sleep. If you look at this active and quiet sleep, REM sleep and REM sleep, you understand what they mean. Before this, baby fusses a lot. And then before that, he is drowsy. This is, he is crying and active. He is alert, but very quiet. Baby needs about 18 hours of sleep. Slowly, it comes down to 8 to 9 hours by the second year to fourth year. And gradually, he tends to sleep in the night. And the child moves towards the adult pattern of sleep. So infancy is the period where the growth is very rapid. And then in the end of first year, the average baby is twice the length of it as it was at the birth. And 3 times its birth weight. That's quite an improvement in terms of the growth. And teeth eruption. Initially, decidual teeth come by the 6 months and continue to erupt up till 6th year, up till third year. Then later, from 6th year onwards, the infants start losing these deciduous teeth, and permanent teeth come and till up to about 12th year of age. Thank you. This is about the infancy and physiology of infancy. Thank you very much.
అంటే క్లోజింగ్ ఏమో దానికి దేనికి మధ్యలో 10 minutes ఏదో పెట్టుకున్నారు తర్వాత అంటే వాళ్ళు మళ్ళీ లాగౌట్ అయ్యి లాగింగ్ అయ్యి ఈ కార్యక్రమం మనకు అలా కుదరలేదు
ఇంటి మార్పు కార్యక్రమంలో కొంచెం గొంతుగా మధుబారి